Hey everyone, welcome back to the Leah Loves to Knit YouTube channel. Today is June 9th, 2025, and this is episode 3. Today I have a couple of finished objects to share with you. I have some works in progress. I have a giveaway winner to announce, our 500 subscriber giveaway, and I have some knit along news to share as well. So if that sounds good to you, let's get started. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Leah Loves to Knit. I'm most active on Instagram. I do have project pages on Ravelry for all of the projects that I'm going to talk about and share with you. I'll have those linked down below in the description box. I also will link any shops or websites that I might talk about throughout the podcast. Okay, I think that covers everything, so now we can get started. My very first finished object was a whip from episode 2. These are my Shell Yeah socks. I dropped one. So even though this was a whip from last summer, I had one finished, and then this past week I finished the second sock. When I designed these last year, I was trying to knit up several different color versions so you could just see like how the pattern would work with all the different color combinations that you could use. So this single sock kind of got cast aside, and I'll talk about my bag of single socks a little bit later, like in the whip section. But that seems to have been a problem of mine over the past couple of years, is second sock syndrome. So decided this is going to be the summer that I fix that. So we'll talk about that more in the whip section, but I did want to show you these because I do finally have a finished pair. The Shell Yeah socks are available in my Ravelry shop. If you're interested in knitting them up this summer, they would be really good for Seaside Sockalong. If you use any of my patterns during the Seaside Sockalong, you get a double entry into the prize drawing. And all of the patterns in my Ravelry shop are currently on sale. You don't need a code for it. You just add it to the cart and it'll automatically apply. But they're on sale for the duration of the Seaside Sockalong. So I'll link these below too if you are interested in knitting those up. And my next finished object was also a whip on episode 2. I have finished my Hourglass Pot Holder. I am so excited about this one. I'll give you a close-up. It is knit up in 4 segments. Danielle just released the pattern for this yesterday. It would have been on Sunday. So it's available on the Midwest Stitches website, midweststitches.com. I'll link that below as well for you. But it's knit up in 4 segments so that it's going to form a perfect square as you go around, so you don't have like any weird corners or edges that don't quite match up with the rest. And I love that in her pattern she has different variations of like where you can do color placement. She's got a couple of sizes included. I did the pot holder size where you knit 2 and stitch them together. Don't look at my stitching because it's not great. But I did knit the 2 pot holder sized and I stitched them together. She's got coasters sized and washcloth sized included, as well as a full tutorial, a video tutorial that you can find linked in the pattern after you purchase it. And it shows you from like cast on to bind off every step of this pot holder pattern, which I thought was really cool because it's kind of a different construction. But it was so much fun. I love doing this. So this, I don't remember what needle size I used, whatever it was the pattern called for. I think it was the US 4. And I knitted up using Queensland cotton. This was from their coastal collection, and this like multicolored up front is called Mermaid Beach. And then on the back, I used just a solid skein called Magenta. So I actually have plans to go back. I have a few more skeins of this, and they all seem to have some of this magenta kind of in the flecks of color throughout. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do like another pot holder or maybe I don't know, like add some of this solid magenta into the different segments to kind of mix that up. So hopefully I'll have some more of those to show you all later on in the summer. But this pattern is available now. I know a couple of you had messaged me asking about it, and you can get it on midweststitches.com. So that takes us into my works in progress. I have two to share with you today. So the first one you have seen before. It is in my beautiful sister bag. And this is the Ready to Flamingo sock set from Florida Girl Fibers. So it comes with, oops, my counter was stuck to it, this hot pink skein and this kind of like charcoal black mini. They came together in a sock set. So I have been working on just a vanilla sock with this. I think the last time that I showed it to you, last episode, I had just put the heel into it. So I am working my way through the foot over here. I had said before, since it's a vanilla sock, I've been just kind of knitting this, usually on the treadmill. But yesterday I worked on this from just the progress keeper on here while we were on a hike. So I didn't get too far because it did start to get really rocky and uphill, like the kind of hike where you need to pay attention instead of knit on your sock. But it was like a nice, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes that I got to work on it up here. So just a tiny bit of progress on this one. And it's the Ready to Flamingo sock set by Florida Girl Fibers. And my next work in progress, I have not shared this one before. So this will be new to you. I have it here in a Delightful Works bag. And I do have one sock finished because I have decided this is going to be the summer where I finish a lot of my second socks. So this sock is a sock set from Zebra Yarns. It's a self-striping sock set. So the pink and the white are here in this ball, and then it came with this cute little purple mini as well. So I knit this up during, I think it was like a 4-day or like a long weekend sock challenge 2 summers ago. And I got super busy with some other things, so I just never cast on the second sock. So my plan for the summer, in addition to the bags and sock sets that I showed you guys on the last episode, is to finally get a handle on this bag that I have here. This is my bag of second socks, and as you can see, it is overflowing and it is big. It's also a really cute bag, so I need to get the second socks knit up and out of here so that I can actually use this. I would say this is about 3 years worth of single socks, which is kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, I know I can't be the only one who has so many second socks just waiting to be cast on. There was really no reason that I stopped any of them other than just like life got busy and I set it here in my bag, and then I cast on something new, or I got new yarn. Maybe I was testing a new pattern, something like that. A lot of these were test knits where you only had to knit like one sock and give your feedback. So I just decided I'm gonna knit the second sock later. And I think at this point, later has come and I need to get a handle on this before it gets even more out of control than it already is. So I pulled out just a vanilla sock to get going on this bag. So I'll keep you all updated on how that goes. not expecting to get all of this done over the summer because I did show you last episode all of the socks, patterns, bags, everything that I'm really looking forward to knitting up. So I think what I've decided is like every couple of finished objects, I'm just gonna kind of dig around in here and see what I pull out, and then I'm gonna finish it. So we will see how that goes, but hopefully it goes well. Okay, and then speaking of summer knitting plans, our Seaside Sockalong is still going on through the summer. It started back on May 1st and it is running until July 31st. So if you're new here, Seaside Sockalong is a summer sock knit along. Any sock, any pattern, any yarn, any size, I don't care, just knit a sock. Whips are welcome, and I do encourage you to double dip in other sock knitting knit-alongs, as long as that's okay with their rules, because there are so many going on this summer. When you finish your Seaside Sockalong socks, I have linked below the Ravelry threads. There's a chatter thread if you want to talk about them. And I have a finished object thread where you can go enter your finished objects. There's also a thread going for prizes that have been donated. Kind of as they've come in and arrived in the mail, I've been updating that list with what podcast episode you can find the prizes in, and links to the shops and the shop owners who have donated those things. So thank you all so much. I really do appreciate that. I feel like we've got such a good amount of prizes. And I know in episode 1 I had kind of asked for some feedback, like, do you want a grand prize, do you want a couple of smaller prizes? And I've actually had enough donated to where I can do like a larger, I think 2 sets of like a larger prize, like a bag, some yarn, some stitch markers, some pattern codes, and then I have several other like sock sets and bags available so that I can also pull some winners from there. Most of the prizes will be pulled from that Ravelry thread that is linked, but if you are knitting on Instagram and you use the hashtag Seaside Sockalong 2025, I will pull a prize from that hashtag. So you can add some there, but it just hasn't been as reliable to do Instagram hashtags as it has been on Ravelry, especially like if you use one of my patterns and you're getting double entries. I don't really have an easy way to count that over on Instagram. So your best chance for prizes is going to be entering over on Ravelry. And speaking of giveaways, I do have a giveaway winner. Last week when I talked about the giveaway, the subscriber giveaway, I had planned to do one at 500 followers. And then when I recorded, we had 800 followers, and today, a week later, episode 3, there is now 1,003 of you. That is so crazy. Thank you all so much. So the prize that I had talked about was going to be a $25 gift card to Mandy's Makings. She graciously donated that for us. And I have a little Notions Nook here. If you haven't seen one of these, they're so cool. They have a little magnetic closure here in the center to hold it shut, and then it's got all kinds of little like compartments that you can open up and stick like your stitch markers, row counters, needle stoppers. I have some needle stoppers to share with you as well. There we go. So I did draw a winner from the comments on episode 2, and if that's you, I'm gonna put it right over here. If you are our winner, please send an email to me, leahlovestoknit@gmail.com. I will add that below here as well. Would you please send me your mailing address so I can get these out to you, and I will also pass your email address along over to Amanda at Mandy's Makings so that she can get you your $25 gift card. So congratulations to our winner, and thank all 1,003 of you for being here. that is so exciting. Thank you all so much for that. All right, so one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you guys about on this episode is the Knit People Knit Along. I usually host this in the fall. It runs from December 1st to November 30th. So although it is not time to actually start the knit along yet, we're still working on the Seaside Sockalong. It is time to call for sponsors for this knit along. So if you are a yarn dyer or project bag maker, I will put a Google form link below in the description box with more of the information for you in case you're interested in applying. But so if you're interested in sponsoring, what that means is that participants have the option of purchasing your yarn or your bags or whatever it is you make and using that throughout the knit along, and they will earn double entries into the prize drawing. So like if you use one of my patterns and you use a Gilmore Girls themed bag from one of our sponsors and you knit it up in yarn from the other sponsor, your one pair of socks will earn 1 entry for the finished socks, 1 entry for using the sponsored bag, another entry for the sponsored pattern, and a 3rd entry for using the sponsored yarn. So you have ways to double, triple, however you want to do it, earn several. So you have the ability to earn several entries into the prize drawing using sponsored yarns. And when we've done this in years past, this is going to be the 4th annual knit along. In the beginning year, a lot of people didn't have Gilmore Girls themed yarn in their stash, and nobody was releasing like a Gilmore collection at that time. So there was a lot of people that wanted to participate, but they couldn't because they didn't have themed yarn and there weren't very many patterns available at that time. So I'm gonna put a link down below if you are interested in applying to sponsor that knit along. It'll have all the information you need. The last thing that I want to talk to you all about was the Worldwide Knit in Public Day coming up. It will be on Saturday, June 14th this year. I will be meeting some friends of mine at a local yarn shop. It is called Knit and Stitch Boutique, and it's located in Cocoa, Florida. They are renting out a pavilion so that people can come participate, knit outside, kind of in the like downtown area. They'll be having a Knit in Public bingo card, which was really fun last year. And I think there's going to be like a raffle going on inside their shop as well. So if you are local to the Cocoa, Florida area, come out and say hi. I'm really excited about that. I have a few friends that I'll be meeting up with, and we'll be having coffee, lunch, and just knitting for the whole day. So if Knit and Stitch Boutique is also your local yarn shop, come out and say hi. It'll be really fun to meet everybody. And that is all I have for you guys today. It was a little bit shorter than I was expecting, but I have a couple of busy weekends coming up, and I just wanted to make sure I got an episode out to you and that you didn't have to wait super long in between. So I'm expecting to come back within the next like 2 to 3 weeks. So see you guys later. Okay, bye.